So maxim 9. Mold your behavior and way of living to such a high order so as to arouse a feeling of love and piety in others. When we get power from our thought. It happens only when we create perfect balance harmony between the things of our making and those of the divine. So please underline this. We get power from our thought. That happens only when we create a perfect harmony between things of our making, which is human making, and the things of the divine making. The word vyavahara, practical dealings, carries a wide meaning. It covers the entire sphere which falls next to the ultimate. So Vyavahara includes from that stage near the center, from the realm of the primary still, down to all levels of existence. There is uniformity in divine dealings, but only in a particular sense. Now please underline. There is uniformity in divine dealings, but only in a particular sense. For example, he gives light equally to all. He has created air for all of us to breathe, and so also many other things which foster the growth of life and sustain our very existence. This can be interpreted as the uniformity of nature's dealings, vyavahara. So one characteristic of nature's dealings is that it deals with everyone equally. Okay. Now there's a big difference between how nature deals with vyavahara and how we humans deal with vyavahara. Okay. Now, when we think that we are actually gradually becoming like nature, which is what we read in fourth maxim, we also should gradually start doing the vyavahara like nature does. Okay. So we will see the difference between how nature does versus, for example, when the temperature turns cold outside. Now, the parents who are of a certain age and children who are of a certain age, all of them feel cold. But they feel cold according to their body circumstances. Nature will not intend to make somebody more colder than the other. Can you see this? Nature does not intend to make or to treat people unequally. Nature's vyavahara or dealings are uniform. However, depending on our circumstances, we can actually feel that cold differently, right? So, for example, a young child, 1 or 2 year old child, will feel a lot of cold. So the child baby has to be wrapped up. The baby will go into hypothermia if you don't wrap up the baby. Yeah. A person who is adult might not feel the same level of coldness, but a person who is adult but has thyroid problem will feel more colder. So can you see? Nature gave coldness to the environment at that particular time, but each one receives the coldness in their own ways. Likewise, for example, a teacher teaches the class in a particular way. So they teach the same to all the people, all the students. However, each student receives it differently depending on their capabilities of learnings. So when the teacher teaches equally, that is very similar to nature's vyavahara. But there is one other element which comes in, which is a human element that is also relevant in due course of time. So working out which of these two will be useful for somebody's journey is also necessary as we go forward. Okay. So got this point? Nature does not intend to treat people differently. Likewise, any person who wants to be in tune with nature cannot intend to differentiate between people. So you cannot have that intention. You got the point? So when you are in tune with nature, you should be dealing with everyone equally. Now that doesn't mean to say that we are going to have a very similar haircut to all the boys who are present here. Some boys have more hairs, so the hair cutter will have more difficulty. Others will have less hairs. The hair cutter will have easy way of doing things. But the hair cutter's intention should be to do the work equally well for all. When the hair cutter's intention is to do the work equally well for all, that is being in tune with nature. However, the work that get manifested will be different. Intention is the same, but how it manifests will be slightly different, depending on how much hair that a person has, depending on how much hungry a person is, depending on how eager a person is for the haircut and what kind of style of haircut they want to have. All these are variables. So everyone is very serious about haircut also. Praveen has just woken up now, and you can see his hairs all over the place, right? If he is not woken up, he's had a very, what do you say, um, stupendous meeting, either with his boss or with his colleagues, that he's still finding it difficult to digest. Of the lot, the most chilled out person is our Dheeraj. He's he's like in another planet. जो भी बोलते हैं बोलने दो. That's his approach now. And he why is he attending regularly? He's attending regularly because he feels very chilled out in the entire session. That's why he is enjoying that feeling of chillness. Chillness means neither cold chillness nor chilliness, which is spicy. It is a different kind of a chillness. Alvaro Dheeraj,
Yes, brother.
you're working now, or you're still studying? I thought you were working.
Wo- Working.
Even in the work, he's chilled out now because in
But
his
I'm
age,
disappointed.
sorry,
But I'm disappointed that you told once I go to Kanha, I cannot eat.
why can't you eat? You can eat, man. Look at Praveen. He's 30. He's enjoying his meal so much. You can say take some tips from Praveen, and including Priya sister also can give you some tips. No problem. Priya sister staying in the PG only, she's actually able to manage so well. So definitely Praveen and Priya sister can give you good tips, not to worry. And Gopal Krishna is anyway there all the time. And Varun can give you tips about the eating around middle age, 38, 39, coming up to 40. So you have a range of experiences. I can give after 50, right? So you should not worry about it. There are a lot of people who can guide you. Now, who do you actually look at to seek guidance in your eating? That's up to you. And I hope that in that realm, your spectacles does its job of helping you picking up the right person correctly. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸರಿ, fundamental thing to understand is nature's vyavahara or dealings are equal to all. That is a fundamental thing to remember. There are other things too which present themselves in a modified form and they are dealt with in a different way. It is obvious that when a thing made of clay comes before us to take a different view, we take a different view of it, and our liking for it is increased in comparison to the mass of the clay which it is made up of. So, for example, if you have a small lump of clay, you will get a small, what do you say, doll. If you have a big clump of clay, you will get a big doll. Generally, the mind goes towards bigger things. That's the natural thing, right? So, this happens across many different stages in life, many uh, places in life as well, or many situations in life where we are naturally driven towards something bigger than smaller. Take, for example, our own goal in meditation. It's a very vast goal. We don't like small goals. We want a very vast goal, infinite goal. That is what we have kept in meditation. So we want a big goal. So in other words, our mind is naturally tuned towards going towards bigger things. Okay. Similarly, that's the reason why most of the youngsters are now becoming bigger and bigger. And across the world, childhood obesity is increasing because everyone wants to be big only. No one wants to be small. In America, 50% of the children are obese. And now we are in competition with America. So we are also going in the same direction, right? So it's something to keep about. So airlines have started charging for an obese person ticket for 2 seats. They don't give you single ticket for one person. Since you are big and you occupy 2 seats, you are supposed to pay for 2 seats. That's what airlines are doing. Okay. ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಶೋಲ್ಡರ್ ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಪ್ರವೀಣ್?
ಏನೋ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡಿಸ್ಕಂಫರ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ಅವಾಗ್ಲಿಂದ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಯು ಆರ್ ಶೋಯಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಅಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಆಗಿ. Whenever you have some discomfort, no, automatically the attention goes and the body subconsciously reacts to that. ಆಯ್ತಾ? We don't need to tell somebody that something is wrong somewhere. Just mere observation can actually pick it up. ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರಿ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮುಂಚೆ ಪ್ರವೀಣ್ ಅವರು? ಬೇರೆ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಇತ್ತಾ?
ಹಾ, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು.
ಬಟ್ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ತಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆದರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಏನಾಗಿ ಮೈ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. What is it that
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ
you did in the office calls? That the hairs are all over the place. Have you had an occasion like that where the hairs are standing like this when you
I
do an
was
office
playing with
call?
daughter.
That you tell me. Don't tell me office calls. I thought. You cannot so easily hoodwink a psychiatrist. So your daughter, see that explains. Your daughter would have played with your hairs. Lot of daughters like to play with the hairs of the fathers, especially young daughters. So they like the feel of the hairs. Of course, that's the reason why they are born early when we are younger. If they are born after 45, 50, where is the hair to play with? No feel of the hair only, right? So when you have kids at a younger age, then these are all the things that they actually expect. They actually like touch. One of the most important stimulations to small children is touch. That's why in Indian tradition, we actually carry the child on our hips or on our shoulder. And that gives a lot of nourishment and stimulation for the brain growth of the child. And it develops close bonding between the parents and the child. When you take the child in a boogie and you push the boogie, that does not give you neither the warmth nor the stimulation for the brain to develop in the child, nor the bonding. None of the three things happen. So I'm teaching Praveen lessons for the first child, second child, and third child also simultaneously. Whatever is taught to the first child, it will be applicable to the second and third also. Right? So remember that. So the more, that's why Praveen then will say, I'll have one child here and one child here. So, but that's a very, very important cultural component of our tradition, but highly underestimated. Now, the more we westernize, the more we actually lose the core component of our culture. Very similar thing had happened. Many people in India had decreased breastfeeding to young children in the late 80s and 90s. And then the Westerners did the study to say that breastfeeding is very, very important in the first 4 months. In the first 4 months, the baby should not be given anything, only the breastfeeding. Only after 4 months, you can start giving other things. Now, when it came back from the Westerners, we again restarted doing the same thing. Anyway, we were doing before. So we want a Western stamp of approval for everything that we do. That's a bit unfortunate. So we need to learn to stand up for our own culture, where there are a lot of positive elements in how to actually grow a human pretty well, how to make the child grow well. So the reason why Western cultures are facing lot of challenges in terms of population decline, in terms of loss of the institutions of marriage, in terms of lot of child abuse, so many other things, is because of one fundamental thing, because they don't nourish the child in the way that the child should be nourished at different ages. Like that. That's a very big thing. They have a different way of handling children, and we have a different way of handling children. And that creates a big difference in the way that children grow up. Like that. Our tradition is very similar to the Mediterranean tradition. They also have very strong family ties. The French, the Italians, they all have very similar ties, strong family ties. There again, it's kind of driven by Catholic religion, where there is the Roman Catholics. There's a lot more stronger family ties. Okay. Anyway, this goes to explain that we should effect such a making of ourselves as may help us to become cynosure of his eyes. These dealings of nature we have to copy and apply in our daily life. So that's what we are talking about. So the ninth maxim also talks about nature. The fourth maxim also talks about nature. But ninth maxim is in terms of how the nature deals with us, in terms of the equality with which it deals. So we have to copy that aspect of nature and apply it to our life. Okay. So last time I had spoken a bit more about Gopal Krishna, and Praveen had caught hold of me, saying that you are not speaking about me, you are speaking about him only. Now that I'm speaking about Praveen, he is very happy. Okay, I'm also being paid attention to. Okay, see how this happens? All of us, I'll tell you one thing, all human beings crave attention. Underline this. Why do we crave attention? When somebody pays attention to us, we become surplus in energy. And that's why we like it. Okay. Now, a person who spiritually adapt or progress to a certain level, they are not worried about attention or inattention. Now, you tell me why is that they are not worried about attention, inattention?
Because they don't have that consciousness.
They have consciousness. They might not necessarily be aware and they might not necessarily consciously seek the attention, but there is some other reason. ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, what else can be the reason? Gopal Krishna message saying that 2 minutes I'm having a call with somebody. Now 20 minutes is over. He's still yet to come. That 2 has now become 20, and then if you leave it, it will become 200 minutes. So what's the answer? I've already given you a clue. When I answered the first point, I've given you a clue there. Why do we crave attention?
Because we get the power,
You get
Energy.
energy.
the energy.
When somebody pays attention, we become surplus in energy because their energy now falls on us and we absorb it. Okay. Now, for a spiritually progressed person,
We already have so much of transmission.
No, energy will go back to upwards. Is that the reason? I don't know. I'm just
what do you mean by spiritually progressed person? That will give you
A
an answer.
person who has crossed at least seventh point, that is liberation.
So what happens there? When you are progressing towards higher and higher points, what is happening?
So they get rid of Maya region. So that is where we have all the expectations.
In terms of energy, man. When I ask Praveen to give an answer, ಎಲ್ರ ಮೇಲೂ ಮಾಯ ಹೊದಿಗೆ ಹೊದಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. He is putting the blanket of Maya on everyone.
So energy will flow towards downwards, brother. So
ಅದೆಲ್ಲ see, energy flow is always towards downwards only. Energy is always flowing from here. It comes like this, comes down like this, and then divides into two, and then goes down. That's all.
no,
That
but
is there for everyone, whether it is a spiritual
no,
person or a normal person.
no, in spiritually we will change to go back to our original towards the
So what
center.
happens to energy then?
So then energy will go when it goes back to towards a center
Source.
source. So all of these desires and everything will go down.
See, you will crave for energy from outside if you are away from the source of energy from within. Alva. When you already have enough money, why will you go on taking loans? You will not. So when you are already nearer to the source of the energy, you are getting energy directly from there only. Why do you require any energy from outside? So you are self-sufficient. In other words, you are self-content. So neither you actually seek attention nor you dislike inattention. You are okay with either. You are not bothered. You are happy in either situation because you are content from within. Why are you content from within? Because you are actually tapping into the source of the energy that is within. So the more nearer you go to the source of the energy, the more settled you are in terms of not seeking any attention. You feel more and more content. You are happy to be in one corner.
Right.
Right. So that is one of the reasons. When we come to ninth point, we become insignificant. The condition of insignificance. In other words, in the condition of insignificance, you don't seek attention from anybody. You are happy within yourself. ಹಿಂದಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಪ್ರಿಯಾ? ಹಿಂದಿ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಡೈಲಾಗ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಹಾಡ್ ಮೇ ಜಾಯ್ ಅಂತ.
ಏನಂತ?
Something they say, no? What do they say? I've heard it and I have actually memorized it from Hindi cinemas. But if you ask me specifically about exact meaning of it, I'm not able to say. So you need to now tell me what is that? When you get angry with somebody, no, what do you say?
What was the meaning you want?
What is the meaning?
Both
Get
of
lost.
them.
Get lost, huh? Okay. It is.
Means I don't care like that.
That's what. Faad mein jaye or baad mein jaye. What is it exactly? Faad.
भाड़ में जाए.
Bhaad mein
भाड़.
jaye. So get lost. So the condition will be like that. You will not bother about anybody. Whatever anybody does or not does, they respect you, they disrespect you, they will talk good of you, they talk bad of you. You are least bothered. Now that is the condition of insignificance. It comes in the ninth point. It is also called as the condition of abudiyat. Okay? So it's a very nice condition. When you don't care about the world. There is a song, Kannada cinema song. And Prashani, I don't think you people would have seen this movie. It's a old movie, almost 80s. So Vishnuvardhan and I think Shankar Nag, they are the heroes of the movie. And the song is ಹೋಗೋರೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಲಿ ದೂರ ದೂರ ಯಾರನ್ನು ನಾನು ಕೂಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ಹತ್ತಿರ. So that's the song. So whoever wants to go, let them go. I am not going to call anyone to come near me. The next line is ಯಾರನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಹುಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ನಾನು ಹೆದರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗೋ. So I did not ask anybody before I was born. I was born here. I did not ask anybody's permission. I'm not going to be scared of anybody. So let everybody go. So that will be like the condition in that ninth point. But here at least he is saying go, go. But there you don't even say go. You are so happy within yourself, so content within yourself. So chilled out, more chilled out than what Dheeraj is. So if you want to compare, Dheeraj is already chilled out, double chilling. Right? So that will be the condition in the ninth point. So dealing equally as nature does its dealings is the essence of the ninth maxim, the nature's dealings, Vyavahara. Nature's dealings described above are manifested in diverse ways. The variety of colors in very different objects is an instance of it. A flower blooming in red color, another one close by in yellow or blue. Thus, nature manifests herself in different colors, each object receiving its due share according to its capacity and worth. In other words, she is dealing with them in her own particular way. On one hand, nature is dealing with everyone equally, but it's also kind of dealing with in a particular way equally. One character is equality, other one is in a particular way equal. So one of the simplest things that we can actually see is the mother's love for the children. Of course, now there is only one children, so they cannot show more love to many children, right? In the olden days, there used to be at least 8, 10 children. So what the mother used to do, the mother used to actually try to cater to the different needs and likings of different children separately. That's what the mother used to do. So no wonder the mother used to be in the kitchen all the time. If there are 10 children and mother has to cater to each of the children separately, what will happen to the mother? She'll end up being in the kitchen all the time. So that's why she was not going to work. So what actually allowed the mothers to go out of the kitchen and start going out for work is having less number of kids. So that is what actually allowed. If there are more number of kids, somebody has to take care of the kids. So then what happens? You cannot go for work. Yeah. So mother deals equally with all the children, but in a particular way, depending on the liking and the disliking of each child. Right? That's the best example. So there you can say that mother's love is equal for all, but the way that love manifests for all is different in particular ways. Correct? So if I make one comment about one person here, they feel more likely to be related to that. If I make another comment to another person, they are more likely to be related to that. So I'm equally actually pulling the legs of everyone, but each one is feeling it differently. Not the point? And today our Praveen was trying to hoodwink me in the first few minutes. He joined late. Then he said he's an office call, all these things. And unfortunately, he was cut.
You said few minutes later, so I took that opportunity.
I know that. And now he is now putting the ball back in my court. This is a typical IT person. Huh? Put everything back on the manager. They are just learning everything. Ah, what nice techniques I'm learning. This is what Dheeraj will be thinking.
In IT, always the ball should be in opposite court, not in our court.
So they, all the IT person will say, it is not in my, what do you say, realm of work. It is in somebody's realm of work. That's the best thing to do in IT. Okay. I think Gopal Krishna is still kind of, what do you say, getting groomed for that. Uh, Dheeraj is also doing the same thing. Our Varun, no, he will actually file tax returns. And any problem filed in the tax returns, he'll say it is a problem with the client. Nothing to do with me. ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ಲ? ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ಗೇವ್ ಮಿ ದ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್, ಐ ಯೂಸ್ ದಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್.
Ultimately, they are responsible.
ದಟ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಇವರು ಹೋಗಿ ವರುಣ್ ಏನೋ ಒಂಚೂರು ತಿನ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೋಗಿ.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮತ್ತೆ ನನ್ನ ಮಗಳು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಗಳನ ಭಯದಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಇವ್ರು ಮಗಳ ಭಯದಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ನೀವು ಮಗಳು ಭಯದಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಯು ಆರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಡಾಟರ್ ಸರ್. ಲೆಟ್ ದಮ್ ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸಿಟ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್?
ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್
They will not disturb.
ಮಾಡಿ.
No, it's good to have children during the meetings. They will not create any problem. They'll sit quietly. They'll listen.
ಇಲ್ಲ,
ನೀವು ತುಂಬಾ ಸದರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ಯು ಬೀನ್ ಟೂ ಲೀನಿಯಂಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಯುವರ್ ಡಾಟರ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಶಿ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು.
ಕೊಡೋದೇನಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವರೇ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರು ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ನೀವು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ,
True.
ಅದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ನೀವು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟೀಚ್ ದಮ್, ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಲರ್ನ್. Many times out of our blind love, we don't want to say anything no to the child. And then they start taking advantage of you.
Correct.
So Priya, you are now getting classes how to manage your kids also in due course. So see, so many things are learnt in one session, apart from the maxim. And I gave the example of mother only. Likewise, father is also like that only. If the father knows that a particular child likes cricket, they will get a cricket bat. If another child likes badminton, they'll get a badminton bat for that child. If another one likes a football, they'll get a football for that child. So the love is the same, but it manifests differently. Right. So the example must be kept in view, and all our dealings must be molded accordingly with due regard to proper needs and fair right of everyone. Please underline these two. With due regard to proper needs and fair right of everyone. And bring them in close conformity with those of nature. What is the basis of nature's dealing? It is trying to cater to the proper needs and the fair right of everyone. So the rights and the needs should be balanced. Like the rights and the responsibilities should be balanced. The rights and the needs should be balanced. Okay. For example, the need of a youngster might be different. The need of a middle-aged person will be different. The need of a old-aged person will be different. So when we try to deal with them, we have to keep in perspective in the mind the needs of the person at that particular phase of their life and what are the rights of the person. We should act in such a way that their rights are protected but their needs are felt or fulfilled. That should be the basis. ಗೋಪಾಲ ಕೃಷ್ಣ, ಏನು ಹುಡುಕ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಏನೋ ಪೆನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಬಿಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಯಾ? ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? He's searching all over the Brahmanda for his pencil. All over the universe.
It is very difficult with you.
Very difficult with you ಅಂತ ನೋಡು.
You get to know everything.
Okay. This is all will happen. You also when you become preceptors. When you become good, well-trained preceptors, you will also get to know many things. You just by observation, because just awareness teaches you everything. That's why we ask you maintain awareness, maintain awareness. Be aware all the time. Once you stabilize in awareness, there is only two steps in spirituality after that time. Only two steps. From attention, we move to awareness. From awareness to existence. From existence to bodily state. That's it. Very easy. Only two steps. The more you develop awareness, the faster you actually stabilize in existence. Then you have three levels from which you can actually lead your life. Either you can lead the life from existence, or you can lead the life from awareness, or you can lead the life from attention. You don't like going below that attention. You will not go below that at all. When you don't go below that, you will not form any samskaras. All samskaras are formed only when we go below the attention to concentration and then to identification, then attachment, then likes and dislikes, and then samskara formation. So prior to that, if we can exist in these three levels, attention, awareness, and existence, we don't form samskaras. So Babuji, even from the time when he was born, he was already in such a purified state that most of the time he used to be in awareness. So for a person who is stabilized in awareness already, the need for meditation is very little. So that's why Babaji used to only meditate for 1 or 2 minutes. And most of the people say, when Babaji was meditating for 1 or 2 minutes, why are you insisting that I meditate for 1 hour? Right? But the trouble is that Babaji, when he was born, from that time, he has been in the state of awareness only. So he used to pay attention on and off and then go back to awareness. And then he was in that meditative state. So when you are in that state of awareness all the time, meditative awareness all the time, you are in that state of meditation. There is no need to additionally do meditation. Only when you are away from the meditative state, meditative awareness, then you require to meditate. That is what happens. Right? So this is a bit more difficult example to relate to. So when I say that when you are already in love all the time, see now Dheeraj came forward to hear this now. See, when I was talking about awareness, he was back. Whatever his fellow is talking about, let him talk. The moment I said love, now tell me that. So when we are actually in the state of love all the time, where is the need for act of loving? There is no need because already you are in the state of love, right? Then the action becomes irrelevant. Everything that you do is part of love only. Action, inaction, everything is part of love only. But we are not in the state of love, then the action becomes more important. Alva? So just remember that. So this is something that you will probably get in the question also, question paper, about how does the nature deal. So one principle is equality. And second principle is that it deals with different, in diverse ways. And thirdly, what is the basis for all these interactions? The catering to the proper needs and appropriate rights of the individual. So the proper needs and the fair right of everyone is taken care of. And that's how we should deal. Okay. So for example, if say some mother cooks a jamun at home, and there is one child which likes the jamun more compared to others. Now, that particular child, mother will probably give one jamun extra. But the mother will not say that the other children should not have jamun because this child likes jamun. In other words, the mother takes care of the rights of the other people also, but she'll take care of the need of this child also. So she'll balance between these two, the rights of others versus the needs of some people. So you balance both at an individual level also and in a group also. So this is how nature deals with. Okay. And this principle is a very, very deep principle. And that actually helps you develop closer and closer connect with people as you grow in spirituality. When you use this principle, everyone will feel connected to you in some way or the other because you are managing or balancing their rights with their needs. If you can learn to do it, then you will start attracting people, which is also a sign of yogi. One of the sign of the yogi is that they attract people without any effort. Just people will gradually kind of flock to them. That is what happens. Okay. And how do they do that? By doing this. By catering to the proper needs and the appropriate rights or fair rights of everyone. This will add further force to our to its effectiveness, and the people will be attracted towards you. So that's what I was telling. It will create a feeling of love in their hearts, and they will begin to behave with you in the manner which you truly deserve. Okay. So in the morning pre-work, everyone feels connected. So sister felt so connected that she messaged me saying that I feel like sending one box of mango to you. Please send me your address. So I sent the address. Then she said, I'm going to send you lots of love. Okay. Now point is, why did she feel the need to send the mangoes? Is the next question. She felt the need to send the mangoes because of the connection that got established of love or bonding. just during the book reading sessions. That's all it is. So, in general, sisters tends to give you more because they have this tendency of giving. That's why sisters are generally generous in heart by birth. In general, they are much more generous compared to males. That's why males are kept in the first point for a longer period of time because they have to develop generosity of the heart. Females are taken to the second point fairly soon because they already have generosity of the heart. And that is one of the maternal instincts that they carry. It's a female, feminine instinct. And that is what actually helps them to behave like a mother, where they put the needs of the child before their needs. Their needs. That's what happens. When you put the need of other people before your need, that is a sign of generosity of the heart. Okay? ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ಫುಲ್ನೆಸ್ ಓದಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೀ ವರ್ಕ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಓದಿ ಒಗೆದು ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ಕೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟ್ರೂ ಜನರಾಸಿಟಿ ಆರ್ ಟ್ರೂ ಗ್ರಾಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್? ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟ್ರೂ ಗ್ರಾಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್? ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನೌ ರೆಡ್ ದಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ದಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ನೋಡೋಣ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂತ. Daji writes about what is true gratitude in the context of meditation. What is it? ಓ, ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಓದಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲೋ ನನ್ನ ಕಣ್ಣು ತಪ್ಪಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ ಇದು. I've read it thoroughly. It's just that this one point escaped my attention. You ask me everything I can tell you. But don't ask me about this point. This is something that escaped my attention. ಆಯಿತು, ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗರೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟ್ರೂ ಗ್ರಾಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ಫುಲ್ನೆಸ್ ವೇ? ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬರ್ತೀರಾ?
ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಬುಕ್ ಓದ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹುಡುಕಕ್ಕೆ.
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರವೀಣ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದೀರಾ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ಲಿನೇ ಅದು ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್, ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ಯಾವ ಕಾಂಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ? 3 ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ ಈಗ, ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೀಕರ್ಸ್ ಜರ್ನಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಡಿಮಿಸ್ಟಿಫೈಯಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಈಗ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. So what is it in the context of what that he says? What is true gratitude? Because this is examination question for you. And for our group, I had made them underline it. They have underlined it and closed the book and kept it aramse. Please don't bother me. Don't trouble me. You be in the underline portion, you be in the book only. Don't come to my mind. So Priya, who are you taking your pre-work with?
She is a preceptor from Prayagraj.
Oh, you're taking somebody from Prayagraj, no? Okay. Hindi or English? English only, no? English?
She's taking in Hindi.
Huh.
And I'm reading in English. Like just matching it. That.
Okay. But that will be a bit more difficult when you come to complete works. Heartfulness is fairly easy to translate between 2 languages. But complete works, sometimes you might find it a bit harder, Babujis. So maybe you might want to shift the pre-work trainer to an English person locally. That might help you for the next part of the book, next book. So think about it.
To Betsy from Prayagraj, she said that she has already mailed my details to PCMS,
but they have not sent it to us. They don't need to mail or anything with that. They just need to message Vijay sister that this candidate has moved from this zone to KA01 zone, Bangalore. They will immediately change. That's all I do. I just put one message, WhatsApp message to Vijay sister saying that this candidate has moved from this zone to this zone. I'll just put the name of the candidate and the SRCM ID, and that's it. They will do it at the back end. Okay, just ask your person from Prayagraj to do that. Just one message.
The person Vijay.
Vijay sister, huh? She's the one IT in charge at Kanha. So he'll know about it. He or she will know about him. So about sister. So just ask them to put a one WhatsApp message. Put your name and SRCM ID. Say that you moved from this zone in UP to KA01. Our zone is KA01, Bangalore. And they'll do it. Okay? ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಹುಡುಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರಾ ಪ್ರವೀಣ್ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು ಅಷ್ಟು ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಹುಡುಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂತ
Is it for handling the thoughts?
ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲೂಕ್ ಹೇಳಬೇಡಿ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ದ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಗೆಟ್ ಇನ್ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್ ಸಿಗ್ಲಿಲ್ವಾ ಹುಡುಕಿ ಸಾಕಾಯ್ತು ಪ್ರವೀಣ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಹುಡುಕಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ ಸೊ ಚಕ್ ಅಂತ ಹುಡುಕ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ
ಅಂಡರ್ಲೈನ್
ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರು.
ಅಲ್ಲ,
ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ
ನಾನು ಅಂಡರ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು.
See, now another excuse. Typical IT excuse. I have not underlined it, so you should not ask me this in the exam. I have not
No,
underlined
no.
it.
That is the reason I'm not able to find quickly. But I just remembered it was.
Who are you doing? You are doing it Mohan Ram, no? He should have made you underline that point. Mohan Ram did not have a strict exam. They were in a different category of examination. They were more lenient. So that's why Mohan Ram has not been focusing on minute details. He's just been covering major points.
Yeah.
So in our group, though, they are focusing on all minor details. What's the length of the ball? What's the size of the ball? Where is it pitching? Is it leg spin, half spin, googly? How much is it spinning? Top spinner? What's the speed with which the bowling is coming? Everything that we are
ಯಾವ
focused.
ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
Huh?
ಯಾವ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
ನಮ್ಮ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೀವರ್ಕ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್. ನಮ್ದೊಂದಿದೆ ಪ್ರೀವರ್ಕ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್. ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ ನಮ್ದೊಂದಿದೆ ಪ್ರೀವರ್ಕ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್. ಆ ಗ್ರೂಪಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ಸ್ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಥರದ್ದು. ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಥರ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ನಡೆದಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೇನೆ ಸಿಸ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಿ ನನಗೆ ಮಾವನನ್ನು ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದು. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲೂ ಕೊಡ್ಲ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ ಹುಡುಕ್ತೀರಾ? ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ರಿಲೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಟು
ಹೌ
ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಷನ್.
ಟು ಮೆಡಿಟೇಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿನೇ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ರಿಲೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಷನ್. ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಹುಡುಕ್ರಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಎರಡು ಪೇಜ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಪೇಜ್ ಒಂದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಪೇಜ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಪೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಉತ್ತರ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಓದಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲೋ ಓದಿದನಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಓದಿದನಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಏನು ಒಂದು ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಗೆ 15 ನಿಮಿಷ ಹುಡುಕ್ತಾನೆ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಟಿಪ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಧೀರಜ್. ಧೀರಜ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಕೂದಲು ಹಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಹೀರೋ ತರ.
I'm done.
You know, many of the older age heroes, they used to do like this. You remember that? ರಜನಿಕಾಂತ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೇರ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ ನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋರು. ಅಂಡ್ ಧೀರಜ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಈಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಕೂದಲ್ ಹೇರ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್, ಲೈಕ್ ಎ ಹೀರೋ.